Welcome to the Real Dream Podcast. I'm your host, Daily News. I'm here with my boy Duke remotely, man. How you doing today?
I'm good. What's up, man? How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. You know what I mean? Getting back into the habit and getting everything down packed. So, you know what? Let's go ahead and get into it.
All right.
All right. Our first topic of today, man, is our first recording of 2025. We made it through another year, and gotta look to the positives, or positives for this year. But trying to start the new year strong. Um, and I want to set the mood for the 2025 as about setting resolutions, right? Reflecting on the year we had passed in 2024 and everything that went on back then. So, let me ask you this with that in mind. Out of all the stuff that's happened in the past year, man, what would be one of the lessons that you would like to give on, or advice you would give to our listeners to pass on, that may help them out for the next upcoming year?
Don't be an asshole. It's that simple. Don't be an asshole. Karma is real. It'll come back on you. Just be a good person, man. It is it when you a kid, at some point in time when you a kid, you go through a phase and stuff like that where you think being an asshole is cool and so on and so forth. But as you get older, and wiser, you start to realize, man, that ain't the way to go. Just be nice, be kind. You ain't got to be the toughest person in the room all the time. Just it's okay to show emotion. It's okay to accept people. It's okay to have an adult conversation without it becoming an argument. We don't have to agree on the same things, and we can still be friends. Just overall, man, just don't be an asshole. Period.
No, I hear that, man. I hear that. I it's interesting you say that, because I was talking to my kids about that just the other day, about just like about being a good person and being kind, man. It carries you so much farther in the world than almost anything you can do. Yeah, there's times you got to be tough and be protected, but that's not being an asshole. So you know what I mean. Be a good person, and good people will flock to you. So,
And being somebody that was a former asshole, I understand. I know. So all of my fellow assholes that used to be assholes, you ain't gotta be an asshole no more. So that's my PSA for the day. No more assholes in
I'm
2025.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Did you say former?
That's
Former?
right, former.
Okay, so
Yep,
you rehabilitated?
I am. And don't
All
get me
right.
started.
Okay. I was going to try to test you now. So, uh, one of the things that I learned from the last year, and that I hope people understand this, is that when you have worked or prayed or manifested something that you get, and there's this point of like unworthiness that you feel like you're like, I don't deserve this, to take that away and to truly live in your blessings, right? I think sometimes we I think sometimes we take what we get and what we want and what we are where we are in our life for granted, and to a point where it's almost as if we haven't done enough, or this feels temporary, like it's too good to be true. And don't get me wrong, if you aspire to be great or do greater things on where you're at in your life now, by all means, that's fine. But when you've accomplished it, when you've lived it, and you're here in that moment, to really embrace being in that moment. Because I think just there's this level of, well, I don't know if I should be doing this. I don't know if this is the right choice. That self doubt, that all those things that compile on your blessing that you're putting into it. If you've done the work, If God has blessed you with this, or if you have earned the right to be here, this is your path. And you got to embrace that moment sometimes in life. And I see looking back over the last year, there was times where I'm like, I don't deserve where I'm at or what I've earned or where I'm at. And it's, you kind of skip being in that moment where you can enjoy where you're at.
Well, yeah. Well, first with that, a blessing is not a blessing until you accept it.
Right.
So if you
Right.
don't accept it, then you're wasting your blessing already anyway. So definitely you can't allow that to happen. Because it's not going to prosper all the way unless you truly accept it. He might give you a little peek into it. He might be like, okay, this is what you can get, but you got to accept it. If you don't accept it, he's going to take it away
Right.
because he's not going to think you deserve it. So then you are going to lose that blessing if you do not truly accept it for what it is.
Yeah. My daughter, uh, she was talking to me about how she had just moved up to JV in on her freshman year. So now she's playing JV, and she played her first JV game, and she passed up some girls on minutes that had been playing JV all year. She goes into her next practice, and it's freshman versus JV, and she says she could tell that the JV team knew that there's nobody else that can score the ball, so we're going to take you out specifically, and if you can't do nothing, they can't do nothing. So she was getting double team, triple team every time she touched the ball, and she came back to practice and home, and she was in tears, and she was upset, and you could see she had this like, maybe I shouldn't be on JV. Maybe I'm not good enough. And I remember giving her a hug and saying, listen, you are not on JV because everyone likes you, because you're a good person. Yes, you're a good person, but it's not because of that mainly. It's not because they're friends with your dad, because they're not. They're definitely not. It's because you have worked your ass off and you have earned this right, this moment. And yes, there's going to be some girls that's mad because your path steps over theirs. But that ain't your problem. You understand that you've earned this right to be here. You've earned that. And you live in that moment. Don't let them take that away from you. That's the stuff that I'm talking about, man. It's just like, don't let the world take away what is, in all fairness, rightfully your moment.
Absolutely. Everybody who walks into your path, everybody that walks in your life is one of two things. They're going to be a blessing or they're going to be a lesson. You just have to make sure that you realize which is which and don't cross them. Because sometimes a person is going to be a lesson, but you're mistaking them for a blessing, and then you take your steps back. So you just have to, people going to show you exactly who they are. It's your job to actually look at it and see
Right.
and believe
Absolutely.
what you're looking at.
All right. We're going to take a quick commercial break and we'll be right back. And we're back to the Real Dream Podcast. We're on to a second topic of today, man. And we're talking about this thing going on in social media with Travis Hunter, the Phenom Heisman Trophy winner from Colorado. I don't know if you've heard about this, Duke. Have you been following the drama that's going on with him and his girlfriend?
A little bit. She trifling or something like that. That's kind of all I've heard.
I, I don't want to say trifling because she's young, but we know from things like she does things that's like, so like she was on a podcast or a video not too long ago, basically saying with him next to her that she's not her type and that she didn't even want to be with him at first. Um, that at the Heisman Trophy ceremony, everyone stood up when he was getting his award and his name was called except for her, that she made a comment under like some famous artist's social media post with like just like a heart eyes and something like that, you know what I mean? And then you can see very clearly that the values that they have don't align, you know what I mean? Like she's not about him, she's about her, and he's an accessory to her. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but what he still with her for then? He must be
Well,
getting some out of it.
Well, finally, after everyone on social media, after countless reporters, after countless news pundits, even Lil Bow Wow chimed in. I don't know why Lil Bow Wow even involved.
Business.
Like he was on there like, "Yo, my man's, let me holla at you," and I'm like, "Hold up, who? Nobody asked for your opinion." You know what I
Did he
mean?
just
And
bow
so
wow now? Didn't he drop the little? Didn't he just
yeah,
bow wow?
he dropped a little, but he damn sure ain't grow none.
Oh, you going to talk about somebody's height?
No, I'm not. I'm
Oh.
saying if me and you the same height, we ain't you. I mean, what we talking about? Okay, it's you know what I mean. What we really talking about? And I think I'm taller than Bow Wow. I think I'm taller than Bow Wow. I'm gonna have to double check that.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. We don't have to
I'm gonna,
check that. Y'all probably eye to eye. I got a feeling y'all eye
I don't know. I don't know. I know some would say he might be more successful than I am though.
to eye. Might be.
Some would say that. Might just about a little bit, just about a little bit.
Might be. Okay. We'll go with
But
might be.
might this whole Travis Hunter thing with his girlfriend, obviously it's been under the spotlight and it sparked a lot of conversations. And because he's in the spotlight, those values are the values that he has and that she has are really tested to the max. And so, the question that I pose to you and even to our listeners is how do you ensure respect and accountability for the values that you carry in your relationship when you're given a public eye or just in general when you're around your peoples and things like that?
I think that's just something that's instilled in you. So that stuff, that's something that I learned that from my parents. So, you always give respect to the person that you are with, inside and outside, especially outside. If they're not around to defend themselves or what have you, don't let somebody talk down on them or anything like that. So I mean that I mean you can go ahead on that.
I mean, obviously, we both have a great respect for the women that we are with. Um, I think one of the easiest reasons on why it is so easy is because of the fact that like they're just good people, right? The woman I'm with is just a genuinely good soul. But I think, and it's like why wouldn't I want to respect that? But I think one of the more important things is that for me, it's that the way I respect her is a blueprint to how my daughter should demand respect. And I want to make sure that like you're not going to be seeing me badmouth her. You're not going to be seeing me talk bad about her. You're not going to be seeing me using certain words to describe her or anything like that because I want you to understand that this relationship is the most important relationship that you visibly will see at your young age. So I know that as an adult, there's going to be a part of you that aspires to have this or not have this or this be a blueprint to the standards you set in your own relationship. So it makes it easier on a grand scheme of things. Yes, you have your values and everything like that for me, but it makes it easier for me to kind of hold that idea in my head because it's like I know I'll somebody if you're not respecting my kids when they grown, and
Well,
so
plus you gotta find a like-minded person too, because it
yeah.
sounds like Travis and whatever the young lady's name is, they not like-minded people. So I don't know. I mean, I don't know their relationship, so I can't speak on their relationship.
Hmm.
I know the little bit that I've heard here or there, and that's why I posed the question, like, what are his like? I know there was a lot of people like saying this, saying that. Like I even said, she comes off like she might be a little trifling. How do we
Hmm.
know that's not what he like?
Right,
Because
right.
he with that, and she clearly is doing whatever it is that she wants to do, and things that we all look to see and think that is disrespectful. Does he think that those things are disrespectful? If he, I mean, he's still with us, so maybe he doesn't. I mean,
Yep.
maybe they more of a friendship, that became some sort of relationship. Maybe they not in it for the long haul. Maybe they in it for maybe he just wanted her by his side while he's going through this journey through college football. I don't know.
Hmm.
We don't know. We don't know what it is. Maybe they got some sort of arrangement or agreement. Who knows? Who knows?
Yeah.
because some of the things that the young lady has done to me don't seem like somebody that's in a committed relationship. But again, maybe they not in a committed relationship. Maybe they just in a situationship. Who knows? Maybe more will come out eventually. I don't know. I know as far as me, if I'm going to be in a committed relationship, absolutely, there's got to be respect both ways. Absolutely. You know, yeah, we both have younger kids that are in our household, so yes, they look
Hmm.
to see how a man is supposed to react and do things, and they look to see how a woman is supposed to react and do things, and you know, and they come up with their own narratives and things like that. And yeah, you want to give them the blueprint and all of that, but at the end of the day, you know, that's all you can do, and you hope that they don't fall into some uh bad situations and so on and so forth. I do
Hmm.
know if there's a strong foundation, the likelihood of that happening is less. It's not 100%, unfortunately, but
Right.
it's much more likely or unlikely for that to happen, I should say.
Yeah. Yeah. You're absolutely right. It is. It's all about. A lot of it is about the foundation and just making sure that is on solid ground. And if not, man, your no relationship's gonna survive after that. And yeah, I don't know if they're still together right now. I think they have separated. When you have that kind of success and that kind of microscope on you at the same time, like you have to understand, like he was going viral for how that girl was looking at him at one point in time at a meet and greet. And so it was just, it's one of those things where it's like he's part of that social media streaming age and of this generation where it's
Does
like
she do anything like that? Like, is she an influencer or anything?
um I think on social media I think she just posts like Instagram and stuff like that.
I was gonna
But
say maybe they have a maybe it's just a business relationship too. Who knows?
maybe hopefully hopefully whether it's her or whoever he ends up with, he finds someone that's for him, because he is right now looking at a huge career ahead of him. He's got a lot of promise with him, and the last thing you need is anything jeopardizing that.
Absolutely.
So, all right, we're going to take a quick commercial break, and we'll be back. And we're back to the Real Dream Podcast. We're on to our third segment of the day,
What's the segment?
Ratchet News.
What's that?
You don't remember Ratchet News?
Mm-mm.
No, no. Ratchet News. To those who don't, will help you remember. Will help you remember. And to our new listeners, motherfucker, you had
All
me
right, let's
fooled.
go.
You had me fooled for a second. I was like,
I'm
motherfucker,
old, but I
what is?
ain't that damn old.
Oh shit! I'm like, damn, he really forgot. I had to.
I
Oh
ain't got
man.
nothing special for it though, so let's go
Ah,
ahead.
you, nah, you good, man. Today on Ratchet News, we are talking about
Me me me
this.
me.
We're talking about this FS1 lawsuit, man. Have you followed this, dude?
Oh yeah, I've seen it all over the book and and stuff like that. So yeah, a little bit, it's a
Yeah,
little craziness going on over there at FS1.
it is, man. It is. So Fox Sports One, the network, is basically getting sued by a hairdresser who basically is suing Skip Bayless,
Mm-hmm.
Joy Taylor,
Yep.
and the
Alto's
head
in there, I think,
the,
and the head. There's a couple
the
of them
head
in.
Dixon, yeah. The head of FS1 or vice president of FS1, Dixon, for sexual misconduct, abuse, just all types of things that she is just putting out there, that place has just been a toxic, male fueled um, environment
Well,
that
she threw her
has
girl
really
Joy under the bus too, though.
Yeah, she threw Joy Taylor under the
It's
bus,
supposed to be
saying,
friends.
yeah, saying that one of the guys wanted sex with her, and Joy said, "Ooh, who fucking cares? Just deal with it." Um, that Joy had been messing around to get to where she's at. That Skip Bayless offered her 1.5
1.5.
million
Now I don't know about
dollars.
that part. Like that's the
Huh?
part that out of everything she said, I'm just like,
That's a lot of money
that's
from Skip.
crazy. That's
Yeah,
wild to me.
and that the
Like
fact, yeah. Oh, and that the fact that the issue with Skip and Shannon, though it was
mm,
about some other things. One of the
the
things that
viral
it was
clip. Yeah.
about was that supposedly Skip was mad that she slept with Shannon
Well,
Sharp.
there was a rumor that she
Rumor
had
that
slept
they
with
see
Shannon.
it.
I don't
Yeah,
think they
and
ever actually did. He was just reacting
according to
to it, though.
right, according to everybody, it didn't happen. And then Skip found out that it didn't happen. I mean, it's crazy over there on Fox, man. This whole thing has just been about media accountability, and it reminds us of the power dynamic in the world and about how that can be abused sometimes by like male figures and things like that. And so, let me get your reaction about this, man. What is your reaction to this? And do you think this will affect sports media or women in sports media
Well,
going
that's what I was
forward?
going to say. The whole thing is dangerous because you have one female basically accusing another one of sleeping her way to the top. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
we all know for years that it's been uh, I don't know, underlying thing that there's some people that feel like that's almost every woman that is in that business, that's how they've done it. That's how they've gotten to the top. That's always been, for some reason, that's just been something that women in that industry have had to fight
Yeah.
for whatever reason, and this sets them back. I thought that that was finally I thought that conversation was finally over, and they didn't have to deal with that because there's a lot of talented women out there in sports in general, sports talk, sports everything, um, and I just hope that this doesn't set them back again because stuff like that is very damning, very harmful, and just with the whole thing, she just from the little bit that I saw, she was the one that was getting most of the clapback was Joy. Nobody was talking about Skip,
Yeah, yeah.
and nobody was
I
talking about the vice president. Everybody was just talking about Joy.
I think
When
that's because yeah, that
it's just I don't know. I just hope it doesn't set that whole industry back because Joy Taylor is talented. Whether these, I mean, gotta say allegedly, whether these accusations are true or not, that'll come out eventually, more than likely. I hope
mhm,
they aren't for her sake because, like I said, she's very talented. She does a good job at what she's doing. So I hope she got there the right way for all the young women that are coming up after her, and even the ones that are there now. Because I bet you there's certain people looking at them now like, "Oh, if Joy did it, what did you do?" You know, so
mhm.
so I hope that this all just comes out just to be, uh, I don't know, I don't know. This,
Frivolous. Yeah.
yeah.
I listen, I don't want to cast aspersions. So, I think the biggest thing about this whole situation is that specifically when it came to Joy Taylor. Now, again, let's establish this is all alleged in a court document, a lawsuit. So we don't know if any of this is true. They're gonna have to settle this out in litigation. But according to the court document, if it is true, Joy Taylor was one of the like prominent features that was all on Deshaun Watson when he had his allegations against him.
Mhm. Yep.
And she has been a vocal, at least a public voice of empowering women in the sports media. Remember, she started off as Jason Taylor's sister, and she was a radio host, and then she got her own show with Speak Out, or Undisputed, and then continued to go on in the rate in the ranks, and has become like a huge part of sports media, at least at this point in time. And so it would just be a huge shot in the gut for just women in sports in general if this is the case. Now, I believe women have come far enough in sports to where they can withstand this hit, but it's still not a pretty record. It's still not good. You know what I mean? And so I like for like the all the other sports hosts that are successful in doing their thing, keep doing it. But man, oh man. And another thing I got from this too, and I don't want to, and again, these are all allegations. They looking at Fox,
Yeah.
all of them,
Yep.
all of them. I feel like Fox the is allegedly that one scene from like the Trapped in the Closet series when they was talking about the package, and everybody was like, "Does he have the package?" I don't know how it's going to turn out,
I don't know.
but
We'll all be watching.
yeah, that we will be. That we will be. I was watching. You know how bad I was watching Fox the day after this lawsuit came out. Them motherfuckers acting like nothing was happening.
I know. That's what I said too. I was like, man, they just going on business as usual. Okay.
Hmm. Yeah. Oh, and like I guess when it came out, there's been like a lot of stuff that people are noticing that was like some shady stuff is going on here. So there was a clip that they posted on like their Instagram or something, and it was Joy Taylor and Emmanuel Echo, and I guess they were in
Acho.
his house, huh?
Acho.
Emmanuel Acho, and they
Yeah.
were at his house, and she was like taking a selfie, and he was in the background, and he
Well,
had
yeah,
his
he ate apparently too.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, he had a blanket on, and he people noticed that he ain't had nothing on his feet. Like he was just no slippers, no socks, or nothing.
Hmm.
And you know how comfortable you gotta be with someone to not have your socks on around them and
Hmm.
your like if I had no socks on right now and you knocked on my door, I'm putting something on my feet before I answer.
Yep.
Yeah, just like and so it was just funny things that people have been like catching now, and like now that this is all out there, people are like bringing the light, like, "Yo, did you see this? Do you remember this?" It's all starting to make sense, and so yeah, hey, it was some of this. Skip said to the woman, he was like, he when he offered her, supposedly in the lawsuit, allegedly, that she was like, "Aren't you married?" And he said, "Don't your dad got three wives?" Because she's Muslim. I'm like, Skip, come on, man.
Ernestine. That's what I was thinking too. I was like, ain't he married to Ernestine? What happened to
He
Ernestine?
he is, which is worse because he's had Ernestine on the show.
Oh, has he? Okay.
Yeah, and so I'm just like, come on now, Skip. This, listen, man. I hope. And apparently, supposedly, Joy was sleeping with the executive. Not only was there proof found out by Joyce's ex-husband, and that's why they
Oh, yeah.
divorced.
I got the divorce. Yep. I read
But
that.
right, but when it came out and the woman was talking to Joy about it, Joy says she was buying her time to say that he forced herself on her. And I think that is the most damning of it.
I
And
didn't
I
hear
feel
that.
like yeah, yeah, she was like, "Oh, I'm just buying my time until I'm completely safe, and then if they try they leave me, I'm gonna just come out and say that he forced himself on me." That's just ratchet. That's just
Yeah,
ratchet.
it is. Yeah, it is.
Yeah, I don't like that. Yeah, man. Um.
And so we just gotta wait to see what happens. If all of a sudden you see a whole new lineup on Fox Sports, we know what happened.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. All of a sudden you see Cam Newton and Keyshawn Johnson on there, and all right, man. That's the show. Is there anything you gotta say? You want to end on, or
Yeah, don't be an asshole.
don't be an
2025.
asshole? Gotta put that on a shirt. Gotta put that on a shirt. Thanks for joining us today on the Real Dream Podcast. And until next time, keep dreaming.